Hey, cool, peace. Keir Sparks here. Lovely to see you. Welcome back to Guitars, Songs, and Home Studios. Today, I'm going to be looking at Amplitube 5. Okay, cool. So as a guitar player, singer-songwriter, home producer, I'm always looking to get guitar tones and sounds that are good to record. But I've also started to want to expand what I'm doing on streaming platforms. So I'm doing a weekly stream at the minute where I just strip everything back and play my songs acoustically, which I love doing. I've done for a couple of years now, and it's great. But what I'm tried to do before and what I'm wanting to do now is get better quality audio and better stream qualities, video as well, so I can do more than just acoustic. I want to do electric sets. I want to do electric solo songs and stuff like that with stereo mixes and all that jazz. But when I use Amplitube 5 in my DAW, I use Logic here. It all works great. Amplitube is an amazing piece of kit. They're not paying me to do this, by the way. I'm doing this because, I bought it, and I'm just doing this episode of Guitar Songs and Home Studios. Hopefully you might find it interesting. But back to the plot. There is a plot? Okay. When I use it, it's great, fantastic, really great sounds. And my last album, Comfortable Skin, every guitar sound on there was recorded through, or every electric guitar and bass sound was recorded through an Amplitube amp, which is great. But when I'm using it for live streaming, it didn't seem to be working. And I was concerned about the power that it was using in my computer, even though it's an all singing, all dancing Mac. I just wanted options to take it away from the computer and to have it in more of a real sense that I'm a real life old school guitar player. So when I play out live, whenever that was, I play with a pedal board, which has my sounds on it, and then that goes into an old tube amp, an old style tube amp, and I use my tone control, I use a pedal board. You get what I mean. So I wanted to get that natural feeling for me so I can concentrate on the performance when I'm streaming. So what I've tried to do is I'm trying to look for differences and compare. So I've got the app for Amplitube and I've got an iRig. So I thought, you know what? Let's have a look and let's see if I could do it. Okay, cool. So let's jump onto the computer and see how we're going to test this. All right. So what I've done is I've created two channels. I've got an iRig and HD here, the iRig HD2 and the iPad there, and then here I've got the Clarett and the Amplitube app on this channel. Both going into my Clarett 4 Pre over there. I've level matched everything, so the input signals are the same for both on both the iRig and going into the Clarett. I've got a true level meter here for both. So we can make sure that we are getting a parity and one isn't twice as loud as the other, because loudness equals cool and tone, doesn't it? So trying to keep it parity, because we're doing that null test, which is going to be better. So we've got volume meters there, true peak and RMS, and then what I'm using here at the is after both Amplitube apps, one being in the iRig and then the other there, is I'm using an analyzer. Now that analyzer is coming from Logic's own EQ, but if you just have the drop down at the bottom, you get a decay analyzer or an analyzer decay. So if you put that to 0, I've got one here, I'll just clear that now, take that off, it decays very, very quickly, out the way. If I put it to 0, what will happen is that frequencies that are coming into that channel will be stored, and they'll make a nice frequency curve about what is actually happening from that app and from that application and from Amplitube and that amp. It's just something to give us an idea, a visual of what I'm hearing and what we're hearing back. So that's basically it. Very simple. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a deluxe reverb. Everything's level matched. Whatever I do on the Deluxe Reverb here, I will mirror on the iPad here. I'm not going to do a video of the iPad. I'm just going to mirror whatever I do there is on there as well. I'll just do a few runs through and then we can have a listen and a look. Okay, cool. So we took the amp up to 8, and that was the same on the iPad. Now, what I heard in the room with Yamaha NS10s, studio grade speakers, is a lot more clarity again in the DAW, a lot more bass and uncontrolled woofiness was coming through in the exact setting on the iRig iPad setup. Now that could be changed. You could get rid of that. You could EQ that out and you could make it neater and stuff like that. I just found there was a lot more detail and it sounded more realistic in the DAW, which I said before you'd hope for because it was more expensive. But I'm doing a null test, so I'm just taking what I hear. There was also another lot of clicks and bangs and pops coming from the iPad. Now, that might be glitches. That might be something to do with connections. It might have been the interfaces, but I didn't get that when I was working on the computer with it. Okay, cool. So there we go. Very simplistic today. But what I wanted to do was to look at Amplitube in my computer and Amplitube on my iPad. Two different interfaces, so they could give differences. What do you think? Which do you think sounds better? What was your perception? What did you like? Did you like either of them? For me, my thoughts and my ideas. The reason why I wanted to do this test was, as I said at the very beginning, I'm looking at wanting to stream more. And I wanted to take a lot of the pressure off my computer to enable me to feel comfortable and to be able to stream better. My thoughts are, I couldn't use the iPad to play and be confident with it. I'm just being honest. I didn't think, it doesn't have the clarity for me. What I found as well playing it, doesn't sound as good, but it sounds amazing. Don't get me wrong, it sounds amazing. But it doesn't sound as good. It doesn't inspire me as much. Just doesn't give me that inspiration. It sort of holds me back a bit. I also found the feel of it. There's a latency with it. There's a latency issue that I find that I feel with the iPad app, whereas I don't feel it with the computer app. So it just didn't give me the clarity, it didn't give me the confidence, and it didn't give me what I was hoping for, that I'd be able to use live, so I could stream live as well. That's not taking anything away from it whatsoever. It's an amazing piece of kit. It's an amazing app. It sounds fantastic when I'm practicing and when I'm playing and just noodling around. I use it a lot. I really love it. I think it's great. But I'm being honest, I couldn't use it in a situation live that I'm trying to look at using it in that situation live. If I was at a push and I was at a gig and my amp blew up on me and everything was going wrong, and it could get you through a gig. It'd get me through a gig. I'd do it. I'd play it. But for my choice, for my professionalism, for what I want from a sound and how I play, I've really learned a real big deal today, that the app is not as good as what's going on in the computer. So that's good. So that allows me to say, right, okay, so you can't use the app in your iPad to help you alleviate your computer problems or your computer sort of ideas. So there we go. Let me know what you think. Which one did you think sounded best? Do you think that Amplitude's any good? Do you use it? Do you use anything else? Do you use, I don't know, Positive Grid? Is that another one out there? Or are you an old school, let's just plug into an amp type of person? I am too, but I'm living in, I'm in my home studio. And that's why I'm trying to look for options. I like it loud. My ears don't. And that's another option that I'm looking for, of how can I bring the volume down but still retain that feel, clarity, and inspiration to play. But that's cool. Let me know what you think. Thanks for being here. If you'd like what you see, please come over to Patreon, see if you want to have a look at the crew, see if you want to join up there. Links down below. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Helps me to get to all the folks. Subscribe. Ka-ching! Hit that bell down there and you'll get to know when there's new videos for you to see. Thanks for being here. I'll see you again soon. Stay safe. Remember that music equals life. Let's keep rocking. Thanks for being here. I'll see you soon. Peace.